guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be things that I wish I knew before I became a flight attendant. And this video is really because we're in the beginning of the year and lots of airlines are hiring. A lot of people are thinking about becoming flight attendants. I'm almost at my year mark and I can't believe it. Like, it literally, if you follow my channel, it literally feels like yesterday I was just in training. So it's so crazy that I'm about to do recurrent in March. Like, that's just mind blowing to me. But it really does go by fast. And you know, even within my airline, a lot of people, like, it can be a high turnover rate because people just don't understand what they're signing up for. They see the glamorous parts. They see, you know, flight attendants where they're always in a new city and we're always here and we're always there and having a good time. But you don't see the long nights, and you don't see when crew scheduling extends you, and you don't see when you're tired and hungry and you have 4 legs to do that day. It can be a lot, you know, and it can be overwhelming. So I want to go over a few things with y'all to hopefully help you kind of make a decision to know if this is the career for you, because it's fun and it's great and we have great benefits, but it is hard. Like, there are hard days, and, you know, I just want to encourage you to, if you are thinking about it, pursue this career, but like also kind of know what you're getting into. So keep watching and I'm going to get right into it. All right, y'all, so we're gonna jump right in. The first thing that I wish I knew before becoming a flight attendant is how tiring this job is. Like, you see flight attendants and you think, oh, you'll have these great layovers. Like, oh, you're gonna go out, party, have a good time. Y'all, most of the time we go to our rooms and we do something called slam click, which is slam the door and click it and then eat your food and watch a movie and go to bed. That's what we're doing most of the time. Like, I think I can vouch for all flight attendants when I say that. Like, majority of the time, we are not going and exploring these cities we are in. Just because, like, some days can be long, especially 4-leg days, red-eye flights. Don't even get me started on red-eyes +1, which they do sometimes, which is where you work a red-eye and then you have one more flight that morning. Y'all, it's exhausting. Flying in general is exhausting, but flying and then like working, it seems like, oh, y'all don't do much of anything, but like, y'all, it's exhausting. So just kind of prepare for that. Some people are like become heavy coffee drinkers. I was on a coffee kick for a little while. I'm not really that big of a coffee drinker unless I have a red eye, then I will drink coffee. But like, whatever you need to get you through, like, know that it's gonna be long days. It's not as like easy and as, you know, sweet and, you know, nice as people think. So keep that in mind when you're applying. Thing 2 is you are gonna deal with a lot of personalities in the airline industry. And that's coming from your crew, that's coming from passengers, that's coming from everybody. And you have to kind of learn to navigate those personalities. The good thing about this job is you never work with the same crew. Like, I mean, you do, like, let's say you have a 4-day with them, so you'll work all 4 days, but usually, like, you won't work with that same person, like, your next trip. Like, it's always changing, unless you buddy bid with someone, but then you did that on purpose. But you always working with new people, and some crews you're gonna like, some you're not. And it can really make or break a trip, I will say that. But just try to learn. If you're not really a people person, I don't really know if this is the job for you, because it's like, sometimes you're gonna have to like, it takes me a minute to warm up to people. So whenever I meet someone for the first time, I'm very quiet and reserved. But this job has taught me to be more extroverted and like really push my personality out there and like talk to people. So I would just recommend, like, I mean, I'm not going to say if you're introverted, this isn't for you, because I'm very introverted, but like, I can switch it on, switch it off. You know what I mean? But just know that you're going to deal with a lot of personalities, people you don't like, people you love. Like, you're going to deal with like a lot. So just be prepared for that. I mean, that's something you'll kind of notice even going into training though. Like, you'll meet so many people and you're just like, oh, I don't like you. Like, I'm an immediate reader of energy. Like, I feel like I can feel immediately if I'm gonna vibe with my crew or not. And you just gotta learn to like not take it anything like personally. Like, don't go into it like, if you don't like your crew, like just being negative the whole time, because it's not going to work in your favor. It's going to make the trip longer. It's going to make it more exhausting than it already is. Like, try to get along with everybody. Even if it's someone that you're not really feeling, like, still try to, you know, do your best to push it to be a positive trip, and it makes it a lot better. All right, moving along. Thing 3, this is an expensive job. Let me say this for the 100th. This is an expensive job. Please, if you're coming into this industry, make sure that you have a savings, because you will spend a lot of money. Like, because we travel so much, it's kind of like vacation every week. So you're spending money on food if you don't pack food, which I'm not really that good at packing food, y'all. Like, I try, but it's too much. You're going to spend money on shopping when you go places, especially when they send me to freaking Minneapolis and I shouldn't say that, but like, we're really close to the Mall of America. And, you know, like, I really like to shop, so I'm going to buy stuff. Like, when you go to Puerto Rico and you want to hit those little boutiques, like, you're going to spend money, y'all. And it's like really sad. You're going to want to go out with your crews. You're going to want to drink. You're going to do hookah, like, if you're like me. You're going to just want to go out and have a good time, and that gets expensive. And then you have to count in like uniforms and, you know, just making sure your luggage looks nice, making sure you look nice, making sure your makeup's done. If you wear makeup, you know, make sure your nails are done, all that good stuff. It gets expensive. So yeah, that's something that like, I feel like it's kind of like not talked about. I didn't really hear a lot about that, but I want to make that like a big red sign saying it is an expensive job. All right, next thing, your body will have lots of changes when you first start flying. You'll notice that you may get sick more often than normal. And during these times where it's COVID, sorry to be the one to break it to you, girlfriend, but you're probably going to get sick. Like, I am a person, I did not get sick before this job. Like, I just didn't get sick. Like, and now when I tell you I've been sick so much this year, like, and sick. I'm not even talking like just the sniffles, which I even had that on top of being sick. But you will be sick a lot. So definitely up it on your vitamins, up it on your vitamin C. Take your like airborne pills or whatever. Like, find something that works for you, because you don't want to be out here being sick, because then you're not fit to fly. And if you're not flying, then you're not making money. And like, you want to be able to fly. So definitely take that in consideration before you get this job. Next is, I feel like, and me and my friend kind of talked about this, we feel like vacations outside of work are less exciting. And that's kind of like a downside of this job, because like even my last trip where me and my boyfriend, we went to Guatemala, and when we were deciding where we were going to go, I just wasn't excited about the trip like I thought I should have been. Like, we went to Colombia, and I guess it's because I was still earlier on in the process, like, of being high. Like, I had just started flying. But you kind of become used to traveling so much that it's like going on vacation isn't a big deal anymore. And that's not to say it's like a bad thing. It's just something to keep in mind. Hey y'all, so I was filming, and then crew scheduling called me because I had a trip. And so everything became really chaotic really fast, but I already filmed like most of the first part of the video, and I kind of liked it. So I was like, let me just film the ending, because I didn't want to refilm the whole thing. Like, I had done my makeup and everything. So we're just going to wrap up really quick. I think I was talking about less exciting vacations. You get the point. Vacations are less exciting when you become a flight attendant, to me. I mean, it may not be to everybody, but to me, it's just, I guess the hype of traveling is not as, oh my God, I'm going on vacation. It's not that same rush or that same adrenaline type of feeling. There's just things that I would have done previously before I became a flight attendant, preparing for a trip, that I don't do now. So I'll say that's like the main difference when I say flying is, or traveling is less, vacations are less exciting. And my last thing to wrap up is, your schedule is different from everybody's. And that's something that you have to adjust to, because, you know, like, most people work like 9 to 5 kind of jobs. And so they're like, their routine and when they're awake and all that kind of stuff, it's in that same like schedule. Versus yours, you might have 3 days where you're working all morning flights. So you get up at 5 a.m. And that's just how your trips run, like where you work early. Versus sometimes the next day you could work a red eye. Like your schedule's just kind of all over the place and you sleep based on that. And sometimes even with dating new people or with your family or your friends, it's hard for them to understand like that difference or that shift, because sometimes when you're awake, they're asleep, and when they're asleep, you're awake, and sometimes you forget to respond to people just because your schedule is just literally pure chaos all the time. Like it's never the same. And it's hard for some people to understand that. I believe that is part of why there are a lot of like relationship issues, and not even just with like boyfriend, girlfriend, like type of relationships, but like just relationships in general with your family, your friends, your significant other. Like it can be different because they're used to you being on like the same kind of schedule as them, and then it becomes, different as a flight attendant. So that is an adjustment, and, just be considerate of that. Like understand that it's just as much as it is a transition for you, it is also a transition for them. So try not to forget about them, because you may be fine because you're so busy. And like when you get in, if you had a long day, like you may not always feel like talking, or you may not always just feel like communicating and being there for everybody. It's hard. Like it's so hard sometimes, but just consider that and remember that, like when you become a flight attendant, give yourself time to adjust, because it is an adjustment. And just kind of like understand it's a shift for them just as much as it's a shift for you. So like I said, you may be fine, but they may really miss you. Like they may really, their lives are different without you there. They may miss your presence. So consider that and don't forget about them. Like you meet so many new people as a flight attendant that like sometimes I'm not gonna say you forget about who's important, but sometimes like you don't cherish like relationships in the same way because you meet so many people and you build so many new relationships. So yeah, just try to consider that your schedule is going to be different from everyone else's, and it is going to cause a shift. It's an adjustment period. If you follow my channel, I personally went through an adjustment period, but you will get through it. We're going to make it through. So if you're considering to apply to an airline, or you've gotten your CJO, or you're about to go to training, whatever it may be, I hope that this video helps you in that transition, and I hope that it kind of gives you some outlook into what to expect, because it is a very different career, and it's not for everybody. I will say that. I'll highlight that and kind of wrap it up with that. Like, it's not for everybody. Some people get in this job and they love it. Like, they come into it and they aren't like me, even personally. Like, I don't do this job for the money. I do this job for the experience of like meeting new people and, getting out and traveling, like because of the rush of like what it is to, see kids sometimes their first time flying, all that good stuff. I do it for that. So ultimately, remember your why. I had an instructor, Dre, he told me that, he told our class that from day one, always remember your why of why you wanted to do this job. And like, don't forget that. Even like with time, some people do, and they kind of lose their passion for this job because, like I said, it is very demanding. But don't forget your why. So thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.